नमामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणस्पतः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् ॐ श्री महागणपतये नमः। ॐ हंसाय विद्महे परमहंसाय धीमहि तन्नो हंसा प्रचोदयात्। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयामदेवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः त्रैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ओम। गणेश जी कीर्तन।
गणनाथा गणनाथा
गणनाथा गणनाथा
गणनाथा गणनाथा
गणनाथा गणनाथा
विघ्न विनाशक गणनाथा
विघ्न विनाशक गणनाथा
गणनाथा गणनाथा
गणनाथा गणनाथा
भक्तपाल वरदायका
भक्तपाल वरदायका
शरणाश्रय भवतारका
शरणाश्रय भवतारका
सिद्धि विनायक चंदन तिलक
सिद्धि विनायक चंदन तिलक
शरणं शरणं भक्तरक्षका
शरणं शरणं भक्तरक्षका
गणनाथा गणनाथा
गणनाथा गणनाथा
विघ्न विनाशक गणनाथा
विघ्न विनाशक गणनाथा
गणनाथा गणनाथा
गणनाथा गणनाथा
भक्तपाल वरदायका
भक्तपाल वरदायका
शरणाश्रय भवतारका
शरणाश्रय भवतारका
सिद्धि विनायक चंदन तिलका
सिद्धि विनायक चंदन तिलका
सिद्धि विनायक चंदन तिलका
सिद्धि विनायक चंदन तिलका
शरणं शरणं भक्तरक्षका
शरणं शरणं भक्तरक्षका
गणनाथा गणनाथा
गणनाथा गणनाथा
गणनाथा गणनाथा
गणनाथा गणनाथा
विघ्न विनाशक गणनाथा।
बोलिए गजानन स्वामी की जय। जय श्री राम। ओम नमः शिवाय। हर हर महादेव। Namaskar everyone, and welcome to the Hindu Prachaar Kendra's weekly Satsang, live as usual every Sunday morning here at our Sri Ram Vijay Mandir. And by now I hope you know the location at Jalibia Trace, Raghunanan Road in Enterprise Central, Trinidad. We are always so very delighted to have you all join us, whether virtually or in person here in the Mandir, where we are following all the required protocols. Now we know everyone's time is very precious, especially time on a Sunday morning and over the weekend. So we try to ensure that satsang is very meaningful and an enriching experience while being enjoyable at the same time. So we want your time with us to be very well spent. And you know, our Hindu calendar, it provides us with so many empowering opportunities to keep our sharing going, to keep our sharing and learning very relevant and interesting, because there's always so much to share and explore as we observe each special Hindu calendar occasion. We've just moved on from, what did we move on from? What have we moved from? Saraswati Jayanti and Vasant Panchami, and we are moving now into Maha Shivratri. So we have yet another very auspicious time for introspection and for exploring our dharmic potential. So before we start our bhajan session, just two quick things, a reminder to share our satsang links and invite others to join with us. And the second is, this is satsang number 95. Yes, we've been with you all for all these months. We thought it would have been just for a few weeks, for a short time. But here, 95 weeks down the road, we are in satsang, and we are grateful for your continued encouragement and your suggestions and presence. And I think we are even more thankful for our most dedicated, useful, good-looking, such technical team who make all of this possible for us. And I am looking forward and excited for reaching the landmark of 100 virtual satsangs, which is just in 5 weeks' time. So we will start our bhajan session, and of course, as I said, all about Bhagwan Shiva and about exploring all the values, lessons, teachings associated with Mahashivratri and worship of Bhagwan Shiva. Now, this first bhajan I want to dedicate to a centenarian, someone we knew from a very long time, Nailaji, when we used to be in Longdonville. Those of us who grew up in and around Longdonville, the Montrose area and Chaguanas area would know Tanti Ivy Nasib from Main Road, yes, Nailaji, Main Road in Montrose, who turned 100 last Friday, the 18th of February. That day also is actually Paramahamsa Ramakrishna's Jayanti birth also. So she's someone we'd always encounter, so very graceful, very gentle, loving person, and will always inquire about everyone. Of course, as people age, we don't see them as often as before. And I want to share what she said. When I read this, I said, you know what, this should be the whole pravachan, and I could just close off after and say Shanti, Shanti, and let's all go home. Because I was tagged in an interview where she mentioned the secret to such a long life, and the first thing was a healthy diet. Dallas, you'd appreciate this. A healthy diet, a good mind. We talk about this all the time. A relationship with God for spiritual happiness. And she continued by saying, I love praying, and I have a special devotion to Lord Shiva. So all of us at the Hindu Prachaar Kendra who know Tanti Ivy and the whole community, we celebrate with her and her family this very special landmark. A big Om for her. Om. So we join in this Bhagwan Shiva bhajan. She talks about worshiping Bhagwan Shiva. The Kalyaji is leading us. Very well-known bhajan of Hari Om Sharan. Victory, it's singing Vijay Bhola Bhandari Shivahara. We sing victory to the one who is the storehouse, you know, the treasure of all purity, innocence, of everything auspicious. That one who is the Lord of Kailash and Sabjaga ke hitakari. Not part of the Jaga, Sabjaga, who looks after the welfare of all. And all of these bhajans and kirtans that we are doing this morning, they will describe Bhagwan's compassion, how his appearance, his glory, and so on. So let us join and celebrate with the Nasib family, and of course, we also celebrate as we approach Mahashivratri. So everyone join along with Dekaliyaj.
जय भोला भंडारी शिव हर जय भोला भंडारी
जय भोला भंडारी शिव हर जय भोला भंडारी
जय कैलाशपति शिव शंकर
जय कैलाशपति शिव शंकर
सब जग के हितकारी
जय भोला भंडारी शिव हर जय भोला भंडारी
निश दिन तेरा ध्यान करे हम सुमिरे मंत्र तिहारा हे शिव शंकर मंत्र जगाओ होवे घट उजियारा नमामि शंकर नमामि शंकर नमामि शंकर नमामि शंकर कृपा करो त्रिपुरारी
जय भोला भंडारी शिव हर जय भोला भंडारी
जय भोला
भंडारी शिव हर जय भोला भंडारी
शंखनाद से शब्द जगा कर स्वर संगीत बहाया युग युग से ये सृष्टि नाचे ऐसा डमरू बजाया तेरी याद भुला के जग में तेरी याद भुला के जग में दुख पावे संसारी
जय भोला भंडारी शिव हर जय भोला भंडारी जय भोला भंडारी शिव हर जय भोला भंडारी
तीनों ताप हरण कर लेता ये त्रिशूल तुम्हारा तेरा नाम जपे से जग में मिलता मुक्ति द्वारा महादेव पर ब्रह्म विधाता महादेव पर ब्रह्म विधाता आए शरण तिहारी
जय भोला भंडारी शिव हर जय भोला भंडारी
जय कैलाशपति शिव शंकर
जय कैलाशपति शिव शंकर
सब जग के हितकारी
जय भोला भंडारी शिव हर जय भोला भंडारी
जय भोला भंडारी शिव हर जय भोला भंडारी
बोलिए उमापति महादेव की जय हर हर महादेv. Lovely. So we continue with kirtan, and if you are following here with us, Archana page 74. Archana page 74. Om Shiva Parat Para. We again celebrate Bhagwan Shiva, who is the form of the Omkar itself. And as I said, all the kirtans and bhajans, they glorify all these different features of Bhagwan Shiva, and of course praises him. Samba. You know, when you sing Samba, what does Samba mean? Look, some people watching and laughing and saying dal, that's South Indian dal. Yes, samba. There was also a kind of dance, samba dancing, but samba means sa-amba. Sa-amba means samba, the one who is always with the Divine Mother. So let us celebrate. So this, when you think of all of this, it's just so beautiful, you know. So we join with Krishna ji in praising Bhagwan Shiva ji through kirtan.
Om Shiva Parat Para Shiva Omkare Shiva Charanam
Om Shiva Parat Para Shiva Omkareshwar Shiva Charanam
Om Shiva Parat Para Shiva Omkareshwar Shiva Charanam
Om Shiva Parat Para Shiva Omkareshwar Shiva Charanam
Namami Shankar Bhajami Shankar
Namami Shankar Bhajami Shankar
Uma Maheshwara Tava Charanam
Uma Maheshwar Tava Charanam
Om Shiva Parat Para Shiva Omkareshwar Shiva Charanam
Om Shiva Parat Para Shiva Omkareshwar Shiva Charanam
Gauri Shankar Shambho Shankar
Gauri Shankar Shambho Shankar
Samba Sada Shiva Tava Charanam
Samba Sada Shiva Tava Charanam
Om Shiva Parat Para Shiva Omkareshwar Shiva Charanam
Om Shiva Parat Para Shiva Omkareshwar Shiva Charanam
Bhakta Vatsala Chandra Shekhara
Bhaktavatsala Chandrasekhara
Gangadhara Shiva Tava Charanam
Gangadhar Shiva Tava Charanam
Om Shiva Parat Para Shiva Omkareshwar Shiva Charanam
Om Shiva Parat Para Shiva Omkareshwar Shiva Charanam
Om Namah Shivaya
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 बोलिए उमापति महादेव की जय हर हर महादेव. And I was just listening to Prachaar ji and the dholak dum dum dum. We are going to sing a bhajan, dum 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 damaru bajawe. And that dum dum represents the whole rhythm of creation, the rhythm, the energy of life itself. So in this bhajan, we are praying that the vibrations and the sound of Bhagwan Shiva's damaru, that it will bless us and energize us as we sing the praise of Bhagwan. And it celebrates Bhagwan. The one who plays it, it gives, listens to it, it gives life age to age. So we praise the great Lord of Kailash, Kailashapati, with the powerful 5-syllable mantra. We just chanted it also, Om Namah Shivaya. I think after being in Kashi, you will never look at a damaru and feel about a damaru in the same way, because every time I think of the damaru, they have these huge ones. You know, we are accustomed to the smaller ones, seeing the smaller ones, huge. And for the arti and the mandir at Kashi Vishwanath, and whenever there are festivals, occasions along the Ganga, all the damaru players will come out and they will just be playing on this damaru. I remember once I was trying to record something and I just forgot about the recording, so it missed a few minutes because I was just so caught up in that vibration and energy of the damaru. So as we sing this bhajan, the Kalyaji is leading us. Everyone join along. You know, may our lives be blessed with the most uplifting and auspicious of vibrations. Hara Hara Mahadev.
Dum 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 damaru bajaye, dum 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 damaru bajaye, Shiva Shankar Kailashpati, Yuga Yuga Soya Deep Jagave, Shiva Shankar Kailashpati. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Bolo Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Bolo Om Namah Shivaya. माथे ऊपर तिलक चंद्रमा, पहने नागति माला, डमरू के धर कन पे नाचे, सृष्टि का रखवाला, निर्भक्तन के कष्ट मिटाए, शिव शंकर कैलाशपति, युग युग सोया दीप जगाए, शिव शंकर कैलाशपति. ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, बोलो ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, बोलो ओम नमः शिवाय. जटाजूट से धरती गंगा, भव की ताप मिटाती, धरती और प्यासे जीवों के मैया प्यास बुझाती. निज कृपा से जग पे बसाए, शिव शंकर कैलाशपति, युग युग सोया दीप जगाए, शिव शंकर कैलाशपति. ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, बोलो ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, बोलो ओम नमः शिवाय. मंगलकारी नाम है उनका, वो है शक्ति दाता, भव सागर से तर जाए वो, जो शिव नाम है गाता. मोह माया से मन को छुड़ाए, शिव शंकर कैलाशपति, युग युग सोया दीप जगाए, शिव शंकर कैलाशपति. ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, बोलो ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, बोलो ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, बोलो ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, बोलो ओम नमः शिवाय.
बोलिए उमापति महादेव की जय. हर हर Mahadev. On some mornings, it feels like we should just be singing and doing bhajans only. So beautiful. And these traditional bhajans, I'm so happy that Kalyaji could join us this morning, because many of us grew up listening to these, the Hari Om Sharan and Nandini Sharan bhajans. Very, very beautiful, very devotional, and we have to be grateful to them that we have these wonderful bhajans to share. So pravachan this morning, I was thinking it's like a little khichdi. You all know khichdi? or soup, with a little bit of so many different things. So let's see what interesting we have to share this morning, because whenever our Hindu calendar events come along, as I share and I remind you from time to time, we have to explore its relevance to us. Here and now, in our space, in our time, in our conditions, how can Mahashivratri and worship of Bhagwan Shiva help me and help all of us in this world that is so turbulent and challenging right now? So Mahashivratri should serve us at all levels, from a very personal level, and as we expand ourselves to also serve the world. So all the beautiful pujas and the traditions that we engage in, it must empower us in some special way. Every puja, every time we come and we do arati or we make an offering, we should be more and more empowered. So we'll look at some of this morning, but first we'll do a quick recap. Actually, some of the values and the life lessons that we have been looking at the last couple weeks, they carry over also into Mahashivratri. They actually carry over from occasion to occasion. So we have all these opportunities for emphasis and for reminders. So we saw that Mata Saraswati represents that energy of change. That she came to fix a world, to organize a world that was in chaos. A world that was lacking in beauty and order. She came to what? To change it all. So to bring beauty and to bring order to the creation in the best of ways, we celebrate Mata Saraswati. We also do the same for Bhagwan Shiva. So that idea of best, 4 words, being the best that you can be, being the best that I can be. This is the challenge, and we saw from the Rig Veda, it's very beautiful. I think we will learn this like a mantra. Ambitame, Naditame, Devitame, Saraswati, the one who is the best of mothers, the one who is the best of rivers, the one who is the best of divinities. In other words, we are always worshipping that which is the best. Yesterday someone walked in here, and when they looked at the Devastan, just went, wow, it's so beautiful, it's so perfect. It represents that which is best, and that is potential in all of us. So Bhagwan Shiva also represents, he's the transformer. He's the energy we propitiate for all the changes we need to make in our lives. You think right now, do you have anything in your life that you think you can change? Well, if you don't, that means you are really perfect, and congratulations. Just see in our own little lives, each one of us, how many different things we need to change. And we all talk about this. Change first starts with each one of us. So when we worship Bhagwan Shiva, we worship for that motivation, that inspiration, that energy to be able to make those changes. So we saw very briefly the Kam Dahan Katha, which so many of you appreciated. I was so happy, and I hope you are all keeping alive the Ananga form of Kamdev, the non-body form of Kamdev. Do you remember what it's called? 4 words again. Love. Easy words, you know. The Ananga form of Kamdev, love. And we saw how many ways we can experience and express love in so many different ways. It is the best of emotions, as we are talking about the best. The best, the most powerful of emotions. So may we find expression in our lives in multiple ways, in and through all our relationships and in all our karmas as well. So Kamdev received such a beautiful blessing because of his willingness to sacrifice himself for the welfare of all. Remember, he was on a dangerous mission, as we saw. Now, I don't want to repeat too much. You can always go to last week's satsang if you missed it. But there's an important point that's very worthy of mention that was shared by one of our Acharya-jis at the ashram. You know the word Chiranjeevi? Chiranjeevi. Those of you here, very quickly, who do you know is Chiranjeevi? Hanuman. That's the first name. Everyone will say Hanuman. Chiranjeevi means who will be immortal. It's the blessing given by Bhagwan himself to those who have done great dharmic work, all kinds of reasons, exemplary dedication and lives. So there are 8 Chiranjeevis actually. Some traditions say 7, some say even 5. Chiranjeevi, those who are so blessed, they have been immortalized to exist forever. And all of us, we are lovers of Hanumanji, so we know Chiranjeevi Hanumanji. So Raja Mahabali, also Rishi Markandeya, Parashurama Vibhishana, okay. Hanumanji, we said Veda Vyasa and Kripacharya and Ashwathama from Mahabharata Kathas. So there's a very special thing to observe here. Their Chiranjeevihood, if we can say that, it was granted by Bhagwan and not really dependent on us. The Acharya-ji used to say that we make Kamadev Chiranjeevi, all of us, so that we don't have just 8, we have 9 Chiranjeevis, one being Kamadev. And how, imagine we human beings have that power, that which is granted by Bhagwan. We can, what? Give it through what? Love. Every time we express and we nurture love, Kamadev comes alive. And as long as we continue and people continue to love, Kamadev will be what? Chiranjeevi, immortal. So the power of your love, what? It is a blessing, not just to yourself. And you know, we saw in the katha of Tarakasur, when we were looking at, much like so many Rakshasas, when you see how Rakshasas behave, all the ones that you know of, they receive great blessings, but they become destructive and oppressive and cruel because their action is not based on love. It is based on adharma. Adharma is the opposite of love. Dharma is about love. Love for yourself alone, right? Love for your family alone, right? Love for those around you alone, right? This is the challenge of being Hindu. Even those you don't like, you still have to pray for them. You know, this is like the doctors, the codes and so on that govern certain professions. You know, even if the criminal comes and needs attention, the doctor has to attend. So, see, there's a love, you know. So, Mahashivratri reminds us of all of this and more. And when you look at, you'll see how rich it is in traditions and kathas, of which there are many versions. But since we are talking about love, I thought we'll see what Bhagwan Shiva has to say about a special kind of love. And we find this in a Shastra that we all love very much. Which Shastra is that? Which sacred text is that we love so much here in this region in Trinidad? Yes, Ramayana, Ramcharitmanas. And this is in Balkand. And very similar to Saraswati Jayanti as it was described, it's at a time when there was great chaos prevailing across the earth. It was a time of deep despair and darkness. Darkness everywhere. Wait, what did you all do when there was all the darkness on Wednesday? Now that I'm thinking about that, it didn't occur to me. By the way, yes. How did you all manage in the blackout on Wednesday? You know, it was, now that I'm now this just came to my mind. You know, people were talking about, who was saying, or I think it was my brother next door, someone was talking about an electrician who went by his barrel and took his cup, and he was bathing like the old time days, and he said he felt like a child again, but the water was too cold. You know, many of us experience that, and you know, it actually sometimes when we go through these experiences, for whatever reason it has happened, it really teaches us about what is essential and important, you know, for life, you know, for our survival. And I hope you ventured outside and looked at the beautiful full moon, because it's as though the cosmos knew we were going to have a blackout in Trinidad, and the full moon was out in all its glory, and the stars in the sky was just full of stars. But without the blackout, we would have all been what? Inside, maybe on a gadget, watching TV, all the these Indian serials and so on and whatnot, you know. I like to see them only to see the clothing and the magnificent sets, you know, but time passing, you know, so we miss the beauty that exists. So, and then also we have, even in that kind of darkness, as we are talking about Rakshasas, like this is just a little diversion but very relevant. You have people who are creating even more darkness through their criminal activities and so on. So, you know, before the main chaupai that I want to share with you, actually, I have that verse. Yes, I can do it right here. It talks about a certain culture and manner of behaviors. We talk about darkness and chaos and disorder and terror that was prevailing across the earth. It's the same thing described in our Ramcharitmanas. Dekhat bhima rupa sab papi Nisichara nikara deva paritapi jehi bidhi hoi dharma nirmula so sab karhi bera pratikula. Bhim, you all know Bhim? Bhim from Mahabharata. Powerful, strong. Those who do the rasas when we have the heritage vacation course will know this. So Bhim Rupa is a powerful form of what? People who were papi, sub-papi, engaged in only terrible, cruel, destructive wickedness, propagating wickedness. Their name called, another name for Rakshas, Nisichara. Nisichara nikara deva paritapi, jehi bidhi hoi dharma nirmula. They lived opposite to dharma. And they did everything in their power to eradicate dharma. So in other words, to just bring more and more darkness. So these Rakshasas, they took many terrible forms all across the earth. Badhe kalabahu choda juara. We know this word, chod. Right? Jailan pata paradhan paradara manahi matu pita nahi deva sadhun hasana karava vahi seva. So it talks about the villains, the thieves, the gamblers, those who had lost respect, those who nurtured envy, all the vices. Right? This is the description. Darkness prevailing, a burden on Dharti Mata. Why this condition? Why this type of behavior? Because actions were not motivated. Such actions were not driven by love. It was not driven by love. It was driven by greed, by deceit, by vice, by selfishness. Now, who is relating this katha? It's Bhagwan Shiva only, who is telling all of this to Parvati Mata. And then he says, he himself, see Bhagwan Shiva from his own lips, Jinha ye yaha acharana. Bhavani ji is here with us in the mandali today. Oh Bhavani, acharana. Those who behave like this, te janehu nisichara sabaprani. They are called Rakshas only. Who said this? Bhagwan Shankar. So this word Nisichara. Nisi means what? The night. Darkness. Chara. Those who move in darkness. Those are Nisichara. So all you don't go out in the night, right? Because if you go out in the night, Ishi, what? I could call you Nisichara. No. Darkness is a mental condition. This is what it is. It's a state of being where we live in darkness, not that physical. And we've explained about this before, So while I was saying this, so let your diya light all day and night. So many wonderful lessons we have shared. And I saw someone posted after the blackout, and I didn't fully understand it until someone explained to me. Good thing I just light my diya and mind my business. Now, why all these young people laughing? Look, Bhavani's laughing. Because apparently there are songs that are out for carnival and chutney and all so on about mind my business. So I was saying, this is a nice thing. And then someone said, but Geeta ji, you don't know what that means? So I said, well, look, all of us who are, I think 40 plus or 50 plus, we shaking our head like this. But anyway, it's good advice. Light your diya and mind your business. So we've always, is what we say, judge our own self. So anyway, let us see the main chaupai. All of this was just laying the foundation for this beautiful verse that Bhagwan Shiva is going to say us. All the devas, they are all gathered in the sabha, very illustrious gathering to discuss and to find the solution to the problems across the world. And Dharti Mata is there in Dhenu Rupa, the form of the cow. So do join with us. Jaya Ram Shri Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Hari Vyapak Sarvatra Samana Sarvatra Samana Prema ki pragat hoi main jana Hohi main jana Bolo Jaya Ram Shri Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Des kaal disi pirisi humahi kaha hu so kaha jaha prabhu nahi Jaya Ram Shri Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Jaake hridaya bhagati jasi preeti bhagati jasi preeti Prabhu tah pragat sada tehi reeti sada tehi reeti Jaya Ram Shri Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Ore bachan sabke man mana sabke man mana sadhu sadhu kari brahma bakhana bolo Jaya Ram Shri Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Jaya Ram Shri Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Bole Siyapati Ramchandra ki Jai Jai Shri Ram Har Har Mahadev So as I said, from Balkan, all these chaupais are from Balkan. So the devas, they were all gathered there in council trying to find a solution to the distress of Dharti Mata. Just as sometimes even we, amongst our family, amongst our friends and so on, there may be little problems, little issues, even in our organizations. What can we do to help, to support, to find solutions, to fix the many problems that exist? It's the same thing. But I tell you, this was one serious high-level gathering, high-level sabha. So Dharti Mata, she could not bear the burdens of the earth anymore. And you are familiar with all of these kathas. So all those gathered there, they were talking about what can be done to eradicate, to conquer, to defeat these Rakshasas, to get rid of the terror and all, how they were plundering the entire creation. So when it was Bhagwan Shiva, they were all brainstorming and coming up with ideas. When it was Bhagwan Shiva's turn to speak, he said, Hari Vyapaka Sarvatra Samana. So beautiful. Bhagwan, the God, the Lord, is present everywhere. Samana, Sarvatra, everywhere, in and through everything, already here, already with us. Of course, there's Leela that has to take place, all right? So, present everywhere. Premate pragata hoi mai jana. How is Bhagwan revealed? How is Bhagwan known? You all know this word prem? Prem means love. Bhagwan will be experienced, revealed to us, known to all of us through this best of emotions that we call love. Right? And then he says, Desi kal disi bidisi hu mahi kahu so kaha jaha prabhu nahi. Tell me, God, tell me any place, any time, any realm when Bhagwan is not present. Always. That's why we say eternal. There was no being born, birth, that energy ever existed. So everyone, how did they feel on hearing this? It was reassuring, right? And I love these two words Raviji taught it to us. Anytime someone says something in Vedaji, I don't know if you remember this, sadhu, sadhu. Whenever there's a declaration or something to celebrate, we say sadhu, sadhu. When I saw it, I smiled because I remembered our teaching. So they rejoice. And Brahmaji, Brahma, Bakhana, he says, it was so pleasant. He said, what does sadhu mean? Well said. It is well said. The life of a sadhu is when you live well, a life that is well lived. So the solution that we require, Bhagwan Shiva is saying what? It already exists. We only have to invoke it. We only have to experience it through love. And of course, in this instance, love for God. And it's very profound what Bhagwan, there's a line just before this. Jake hridaya bhagati jasi priti prabhu taha pragata sada tehi riti. Bolo, sing with me. Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama. Very beautiful. Okay? The way each one of us will experience love for God, will it be the same? Will it be identical? All the things that we do or that we desire, that we want to do, Mayanti ji, it's different. And we've talked about this also before. So many pathways, so many traditions to experience and to express our devotion and our love for God. And it's not confined to a place or space and a time and a condition. When is the time to express and experience love for God? Now in the Monday, right? And when Satsang is over, Anji, devotion done. Not like that. So this is why we talk about what? Ongoing, continued empowerment, upliftment, energizing yourself, continued learning and sharing. So what does this chaupai say? Bhagwan, jake hridaya bhagati. According to the intensity of your love, of what you feel in your heart, your mind, it is in that same way Bhagwan is going to respond. According to your sincerity, your level, this is how you and I will experience in that same way. This is what he said. So he responds. So that power is potential in all of us. So Bhagwan Shiva is reminding us of this in this katha. Mahashivratri reminds us of this, and we will continue from here and look at this a little more about Mahashivratri itself and the associated kathas in our session next week. I have to leave a few minutes for the chanting of our stotram, our stuti for this week. I was asked, make sure you do one a week so that we can all follow and sing along. And the text will come up for you to follow. Those of you who are here in the mandir, you can follow in the Satsangi's Companion on page 126. And when we chant, and when you worship and you sing along, please remember all that we have shared. Let it be empowering for you. Now, before we sing, I want to ask your indulgence for a personal matter. And when I say personal matter, I would like to celebrate and to dedicate, look, I am feeling a little teary-eyed, I apologize, to my husband Krishna, who's 60 years old. And yeah. So, I mean, who I am is because of who Krishna is. That's all that I can say. So, sometimes we argue over little things, he knows that, but 100% support. And he spends more time at the Kendra than I do. You know, I think he's the most dedicated of all of us. You know, and I remember Raviji told me, when you have to get married, find a worker. Well, it evolved like that, you know, and it's just been, we'll be married for 30 years also, so maybe that's why I feel so emotional this morning. So I joked with him, I said, you are now 90 years old, 60 years is your life sentence, and the other 30 years, the jail sentence with me. So I know all of you, and I think he's more loved than I am actually, because I see, look, they're all smiling here, how they, he will just be with everyone and how much they enjoy his company, always joking and laughing and all of that. At the ashram, he was more loved by all the elderly mothers in that ashram, would sneak up to make coffee for him and say, Krishna ji, come, there's something on TV, or if cricket is going on and all of that. So I am very happy and I am very blessed. So this particular stotra, I want to ask Bhagwan Shiva's grace and blessing and all of you to join with me to celebrate his life, and for him to, my father-in-law is 98 years old. I don't know if Krishnaji is going to follow suit. Maybe I'll be long gone. I don't know. Even my mother left me. Yes, so Bhagwan Shiva's grace and blessing to everyone, and a special blessing for my Krishna this morning. Bolye Umapati Mahadev ki jai. Hara Hara Mahadev. Those who wish to do the Aarti offering, please come now so that you can make your Aarti offering. It will save us a little time as well. So follow all praises to Bhagwan Shiva. Shambho Mahadeva, Shambho Mahadeva, Shambho Mahadeva, Samba Prabhu, Shri Shaila Shringara, Shringara, Sanchara, Deshahi Mandir, Samba Prabhu,
Shambho Mahadeva, Shambho Mahadeva, Shambho Mahadeva, Samba Prabhu, Shri Shaila Shringara, Shringara.
सांब प्रभु
सद्भक्त सालोप्य सामीप्य सारोप्य सायुज्य संधान सांब प्रभु गंगा तरंगावली कंचकाचूत खंडेन्दु कोदीर सांब प्रभु बोलो
शंभो महादेव शंभो महादेव शंभो महादेव सांब प्रभु श्रीशैल श्रृंगार श्रृंगार संचार केशाही मंदिर सांब प्रभु
वेदत्रयाघोत भागीरथी शूट चान्द्रार्क सन्नेत्र सांब प्रभु सायं समारम्भ धुन्मयानाद्य सौराष्ट्रे गम्भीर सांब प्रभु ओ
शंभो महादेव शंभो महादेव शंभो महादेव सांब प्रभु श्रीशैल श्रृंगार श्रृंगार संचार केशाही मंदिर सांब प्रभु शंभो महादेव शंभो महादेव शंभो महादेव सांब प्रभु श्रीशैल श्रृंगार श्रृंगार संचार केशाही मंदिर सांब प्रभु शंभो महादेव शंभो महादेव शंभो महादेव सांब प्रभु श्रीशैल श्रृंगार श्रृंगार संचार केशाही मंदिर सांब प्रभु शंभो महादेव शंभो महादेव शंभो महादेव सांब प्रभु श्रीशैल श्रृंगार श्रृंगार संचार केशाही मंदिर सांब प्रभु केशाही मंदिर सांब प्रभु केशाही मंदिर सांब प्रभु
Har Har Mahadev Gange. Couple minutes until we just finish up the aarti. Oh Har Har Mahadev Gange, Kashi Vishwanath Shambho.
ओ हर हर महादेव गंगे काशी विश्वनाथ शंभो
हर हर महादेव गंगे काशी विश्वनाथ शंभो
ओ हर हर महादेव गंगे काशी विश्वनाथ शंभो
ओ हर हर महादेव गंगे
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 काशी विश्वनाथ शंभो
काशी विश्वनाथ शंभो
काशी विश्वनाथ शंभो
काशी विश्वनाथ शंभो
हर हर महादेव गंगे काशी विश्वनाथ शंभो
ओ हर हर महादेव गंगे काशी विश्वनाथ शंभो
ओ हर हर महादेव गंगे
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 काशी विश्वनाथ शंभो
काशी विश्वनाथ शंभो
काशी विश्वनाथ
काशी विश्वनाथ
शंभो
शंभो
जय सिया राम जय जय सिया राम बोलो
जय सिया राम जय जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय जय सिया राम
राम राम राम जय जय राम
बोलो राम 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 जय जय राम
राम राम राम जय जय राम
बोलो राम राम राम
closing mantras, praying for everyone and everything. Om Durgano Sajano Bhuyat Sajana Shanti Manuyat Shanto Musheta Bandhebhyo Mukta Shanyan Vimochayet Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahi Mahisha Go Brahmanebhya Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhu Cha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Om Yav Shantir Antarikshagum Shanti Prithvi Shantir Apah Shantir Aushanaya Shantir Vanaspate Shantir Vishve Deva Shantir Brahma Shanti Sarvagum Shanti Shantireva Shanti Sama Shantiredhi Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Jaga Pranam. We offer salutations to Bhagwan. Siya Ram mein sab jag jani karau pranam jo hi jagat pani. Siya Ram mein sab jag jani karau pranam jo hi jagat pani. Jai Shri Ram. Boliye Gajanan Swami ki, Shri Krishna Chandra Bhagwan ki, Umapati Mahadev ki, Jagadambe Mata ki, Pavanasuta Hanuman ki, Siyapati Ramchandra ki, Goswami Tulsidas ki, Trinidad or Tobago Desh ki, Boliye Sri Satya Sanatan Dharma ki, Jai, Jai Jai, Sitaram. Please take your seats. Couple very quick announcements. Of course, we'll continue from where we left off to explore the Bhagwan Shiva Mahashivratri. I will share by WhatsApp message and post on Facebook. I almost said faced on postbook. So how we plan to manage, because we still have to follow restrictions, and people are inquiring. I realize there are so many Shiva Bhaktas wanting to know how we can worship. So in a day or two, you'll have those instructions. And we have also just, yesterday I felt, and day before I was sharing the pictures and saying I was feeling so heartbroken. Maybe that's because I feel so emotional. If you come and you see outside our mandir, the buildings that would have served us for 20-something years, the Saloni Bhawan, the outdoor dining hall, all of those things are being dismantled. As I said, they break up before they make up. So we've started the third phase of our work, and we hope you can come, sometime and visit and see what we are doing. We will have some material needs. I'll probably share that with you all sometime in case you can support us. So these are the announcements for this morning, and we wish you all a very blessed, beautiful, productive week. Let us continue to make Kamadev Chiranjeevi. How do we do that? By continuing to nurture and share love in the best of ways. Have a blessed week, everyone. Namaskar.